The internet is almost entirely integrated into all aspects of our daily lives, taking on many different forms. Whether one actively seeks it out or not, it is constantly influencing our decisions and perceptions of the world around us. The internet is most prominently known for its sociability, allowing us to reach out and connect to people all over the globe. We are regularly accessing our social interactions through different media platforms. Regardless if it's Instagram or small subgroups on Reddit, we are all eager to interact with our designated internet communities. Now, this intense desire for human interaction is an innate feature of the human experience, and with the accessibility of social media, it makes this need effortlessly achievable. However, the internet has become extremely multifaceted due to its rapid growth in just the last 20 years, making it almost impossible for people to truly grasp its more nuanced factors. With this uninformed view of the virtual realm, people have become increasingly skeptical of what's real, making them question their own relationships within the digital sphere. This mass uncertainty has led to many different conspiracies, including the dead internet theory. This theory insinuates that there is little to no human interaction on the internet anymore. Rather, the government is just implementing AI bots to dominate the online world, manipulating and controlling our online decisions and perceptions. This theory is essentially rooted in the public's overall relationship with its government and how confident they are in its institutions. My question then becoming, how does the dead internet theory impact the general public's trust in the government and our institutions? Trust is a very subjective and important component in relationships to and with other people, especially when that relationship is contingent upon the amount of authority one party has over the other. In order to understand the public's wariness in regards to the internet, we must understand how our relationship to the government has devolved during its growth. Jonathan Perry's Trust in Public Institutions, Trends and Implications for Economic Security helps us recognize the broader context of trust in public institutions, offering data that highlights the intricacies of trust dynamics in contemporary society. By looking further into these trends, we can see how these patterns of trust, or lack thereof, could coincide with the emergence of conspiracies like the dead internet theory. Perry specifies the percentage of people expressing confidence or trust in their governments in the 62 developed and developing countries included peaked at 46% on average in 2006 and fell to 36% by 2019. This steep decline of trust indicates a correlation between the panic of the unknown internet and the institutions that control said internet platforms. By recognizing the trends and implications outlined at the source, one can better comprehend how disruptions in the online sphere, as posited by the dead internet theory, could potentially exacerbate existing challenges in maintaining public trust. Perry consequently stresses the importance of addressing issues related to internet stability and security in regards to social media, quoting, "Social media has emphasized institutional failures, real or perceived, enabled sophisticated targeting of information campaigns, and manipulated views and affected trust in the legitimacy of election outcomes." Government organizations utilizing the many tools of social media opens a door for possible corruption of power by allowing the public's perceptions of the world around them to be curated towards governmental benefits. Perry highlights this concept by specifying that they have also been used by populist leaders to bypass or undermine other public institutions that may provide checks on powers or help mediate a plurality of interests, such as political parties and the media. It's no surprise that there is a steady decline of societal trust in government institutions, due to how effortlessly the interests of the government are able to infiltrate and influence those on the online realm. Now that the internet has become more prevalent in our day-to-day lives, this has allowed our government to stay current with its communication strategies, broadcasting their agenda more efficiently and personally than ever. However, this concept isn't as simple as a politician or institution posting a new Facebook photo. The emergence of AI has played a huge role in this as well. The article, "What is Artificial Intelligence for Social Media?" which expresses how the role of AI in social media is articulated through insights into how AI algorithms work in shaping online interactions and content dissemination. Understanding AI is crucial due to the key role it plays in the dead internet theory. Algorithms are incredibly significant in the process of framing information on the digital landscape for its consumers. Close examination of this source reveals how AI-driven content curation and recommendation systems can potentially exacerbate or mitigate trust issues depending on factors like transparency, bias, and manipulation. Some of the main tools social media marketers capitalize off of is its ability to predict which types of content will resonate most create posts and images automatically, detect consumer trends and understand sentiment, and much, much more. The intersecting relationship between AI and social media has become significantly abundant in our daily lives. The increase of AI and social media platforms can either reinforce trust in government and institutions by fostering transparency and accountability, or more likely, erode trust through its blurred algorithms and overall manipulative content dissemination. This article has made it clear that in order to produce data driven posts and campaigns that actually get results, you only need to know the basics of AI, making it extremely convenient for those with the same goal. Policymakers often don't communicate the ethical and regulatory challenges posed by AI in social media, creating a lack of public trust that eventually results in somewhat dangerous conspiracies, such as the dead internet theory. Now that the underlying contributions to the fostering of the dead internet theory have been established, we can now fully grasp the theory itself and apply it to our individual relationships. Colin Wright focuses on the implications in his article, The Dead Internet Theory, by presenting its origin. By closely analyzing the content, one can discern the theoretical underpinnings of how disruptions or manipulations of the internet could lead to a breakdown in trust in the government and its institutions. The author discusses various scenarios and hypotheticals, shedding light on the potential reasons as to how such events popularized the theory, quoting, "There are also concerns that as the net is filled with AI-generated work, future AI systems will be less aligned with human preferences and needs because they'll be trained on far more AI-produced content than work made by humans." This concept essentially alludes to the idea that AI is growing exponentially, expanding its reach across all axes of the internet. This multiplication of AI in the social realm forces AI to communicate with other AI, creating a snowball effect. AI will eventually happen upon fellow AIs, hypothetically increasing the demand for their social activity, leaving most, if not all, conversations to be either between AI and human or no human at all. The government casually implementing this technology into their work online not only conceals their true intent from the public, but also unleashes an epidemic of this artificiality on all corners of the internet, leaving the general public with an overall obscured and unreliable avenue to their destination. Further research on this theory sparks conversation of the fragility of trust, most significantly in our digital age, highlighting the vulnerabilities exposed by potential internet disruptions or manipulations. Another article sparking similar conversation to this concept is Trust in the Digital Age: Why It Matters Now More Than Ever. This website emphasizes the similar significance of the internet's exponential growth on society by expanding on the function trust plays in this landscape. Although this question hinges upon the general public's trust in their online relationships, it is not the only significant factor. Trust is inherently dependent upon transparency within our conversations. Transparency and trust are often seen as symbiotic traits, but Botsman thinks that we should think of them exactly the opposite. Transparency becomes important when there is a lack of trust, not an excess of it. The dichotomy between trust and transparency acts as a foil towards our lack of either concept. When one doesn't have trust, the demand for transparency becomes increasingly critical to our relationship with the media we interact with. No one would be calling for an increase in transparency around user consent and data sharing. Instead, according to Botsman, we would inherently trust Facebook with our data. The ideas derived from the source suggest that perhaps cultivating a trust in digital environments is crucial for de-escalating widespread nervousness. Therefore, efforts to address the implications of the dead internet theory must prioritize strategies for building and preserving trust in the digital realm. Overall, we've recognized that human relationships rely on how well and easily we can understand one another's interactions and perceptions of each other. Without a shared or mutual understanding of our counterparts, we are left doubting and, in some dramatic cases, questioning the entire fabric of our social connections. This theory is supported by many external factors regarding the interconnectedness between trust and digital technologies. However, I think the most important component at play is the flawed, complicated nature of human beings ourselves. Jorge Borges captures the longing of human connection with the outside world, but mainly just between Jorge himself in his short philosophical autobiography, Borges and I. He communicates his struggle between his internal or private self, the intrinsic or more complex self we often don't have the opportunity to share with the public, and his persona, the physical, more outward version we often portray ourselves to be in front of the general public, a performance. Although this source appears to have little, if anything, to do with the digital age or institutional trust, I feel as though it is a good representation of us, especially on the internet. The dead internet theory poses great fear in the idea that we as humans are interacting with robots. We seek human connection in one way or another, even if it's just by scrolling on Instagram for hours. We still read the comments or captions on posts, searching to find something human. However, we ourselves cannot inherently be ourselves in front of an audience. We must perform. That being said, the internet being dominated by a bot population isn't the true reason people are upset. We cannot truly connect with each other, especially in the online realm, so the difference between bots and humans are very slim. Realistically, this fear is hinged upon where these bots derive from and their overall pursuit on the internet. Conspiracy theories such as the dead internet theory rely on the lack of clarity and shared understanding of the internet itself. The limited knowledge of the platform fosters speculation and further perpetuates the mistrust of our peers and political representatives. This assumption of false consciousness within online conversations is easily adopted due to our long history of mistrust in government institutions. This lack of understanding of the digital landscape only solidifies and validates that mistrust even further. However, this theory cannot be proven accurate. There are far too limited AI verified responses compared to humans. So, another important factor to sustaining the adoption of this conspiracy thrives on the internal relationship between ourselves and our fear of depersonalization. These key ingredients of the theory are mutually inclusive. Without each piece, the dead internet theory loses all plausibility.